Hey everybody, it's time for our Friday sketch video. And this Friday we're going to be using a reverse confetti sketch number 19. And this one I found on Pinterest, like I do most of the sketches we use. And I want to say, if you guys haven't found Kristie, I don't want to mess up her last name, but she does the 6x6 pad tutorials on YouTube. I'll have a link to her channel down below, okay? But she does a lot with the writing the measurements on the actual sketches. So for us, we're going to be using the 6.5x6.5 pad and some ephemera pieces. So what I did was, I realized here that I cut my papers to the wrong size. So I'm pulling out two new sheets, and I'm going to cut them to be 4 by 5 1/4, and that will give me a little border around my base card, which I made 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, which is my typical measurements. So now I'm just laying them out, trying to see how everything was going to lay out as far as the sketch and um, how everything was looking. And I know they have theirs like one on the far back, three on the same level, and then one kind of on top of the two. I did mine opposite. I put two down, and then I'm going to pop up the three along the front. So for the brown tone version of the card, we're going to go around with the rusty hinge, because I think with this particular pad, it matches perfectly to that brown rusty look that they're going for. And I'm just going to take and lay it down on my base card. And then I'm also going to go around the base card with the distress ink as well. And you'll see me sometimes take it's like a nail file, and go around the edge. It's only because if there's any fuzzies, I want to make sure those get off. And then we're scoring our cards at 4 1/4. So that way it'll be 5.5 by 4 1/4. And because nothing's wrapping around, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the base. And then that way we can start building up the design. All right. Same thing going around with the file and with the distress ink. And I find if you don't want to do layers, if you don't want to make the card extra bulky, then I would suggest distressing your edges, only because that little bit of color on the edge does separate it from the paper that you're putting on top of. And if you're someone who doesn't particularly like to distress your edges, then I would consider doing a matte. Like when I put down the round, like that light one, the clock on the pattern paper, really I should have inked around the edge on that one first, only because it's so light, it does blend in the camera. Of course, in real life, you can see it. It fades back only a little bit, so it's not too bad. And then we're just taking the foam pieces and popping up the three that are along the front. And then instead of putting a little strip of paper with our sentiment, I just grabbed one of the sentiments in the back of the paper pad. I went around with the dusty hinge on that, and then I'm going to attach it in the same spot as the one on the sketch. And then we're just going to do the same exact thing for the silver tone card that we're making. So with that one, I'm going to go around the edge with black soot. And if you don't want black soot, if black soot is too much of a contrast for you, then if you have, where's the gray one? You can use pumice stone or hickory smoke, if you wanted to just distress them a little bit around the edge. But I like the black soot. I like the dark contrast. And then once again, go ahead and go around the matte edge as well. And then attach that to the base. Just trying to get it as even as possible. And then same thing with all these pieces. A lot of this, the strip, the gray strip that I'm putting on now, that is left over from when I did the cards last week. And then the one on the brown is a new piece. I just cut a little strip off so I could still use that particular paper in a project to come if I wanted. The one with the foil. So same concept. We're going to do two flat down and then pop up the other three. And there are so many different versions of this particular sketch. Even on Pinterest, there were some where, like, they only used like three images. Some that did four or five. I think depending on the size of the circles that you make it, you could really go crazy with it. And I think it's perfect for a guy's card because it's not too much, not a whole lot going on, just enough, and it still has that masculine, feel to it. And then on the brownish one, because of the gold foil or the bronzy foil that we have on it, I decided to take, I have this Nuvo drop, and even though it is a little bit of glitter in it, it's the golden sunset. It matches the color tone of this card very well. And it's not too crazy. And once again, you just hit it, tap it a little bit, so that way they kind of even out. And then on the silver tone one, I was looking to see if I had one on my desk that was more in the silver tone, but I didn't. So I just grabbed the black, the same one that I used last week. And then that completes that card. And if you have a little hiccup, I just grab a pointy edge and kind of re-straighten or reshape the drop. Okay, so there you have it, our finished product. I'm going to have some close-ups here. At the end of the video, as always, I'll have links to previous Friday sketch videos. In the more section, I will have a link to this sketch on Pinterest and also to the lady, to Miss Kristie, who I can binge watch her videos. I just put them on and watch her go to town doing sketch videos. She's definitely the one that probably inspired me, even though I don't do the entire pad in one sitting. I do like using up as much as the pad as I can get. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure if you guys go over to scrapbookingwithme.com that you use the coupon code TT15. Okay, so that's coupon code TT15 to get an additional discount. Okay, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great weekend.